Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to move my question, the question that was directed to me, to be asked early. I thank the Honourable Assistant Minister for Transport for asking this question. Mr. Speaker, sir, Lau is remote, but remoteness must never become a reason to unequal protection. It makes preparedness more important, not less. The Lau Group faces significant risks from tropical cyclones, storm surges, coastal flooding, strong winds, and other climate hazards. For our communities in Lau, geographical isolation can severely constrain the movement of emergency supplies, assistance, and response services during periods of extreme weather. That is why Lau preparedness is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And our approach is simple. We manage disaster before they strike, not after. This is why the coalition government, through the Ministry of Rural and Maritime Development and Disaster Management, is translating national policy into practical protection by investing in community resilience, disaster preparedness, and safe, functional, and resilient evacuation centers across our maritime communities. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are not simply constructing buildings. We are protecting lives, preserving development gains, and building the confidence of maritime communities that their government sees them, hears them, and will stand with them. Mr. Speaker, sir, over the 2024, 2025, and the 2025-2026 financial year, government has supported 14 evacuation centers projects across the Lau Group, representing a combined investment of approximately $661,213. These investments have reached communities across Niau, Lakemba, Moala, Vatoa, Oneata, Matuku, Onelau, and Fulanga. In 2024 and 2025, government supported 10 evacuation center projects with a combined value of approximately $290,470. This included the evacuation center, hall retrofitting, and renovation works at Selia and Narodivo in Niau, Nakaukilangi, Tumbou, Talahele, and Endrana in Lakemba, Ketera in Moala, Vatoa, and Waingori in Oneata. The majority of these projects were funded through my ministry, with the Vatoa project supported through the Office of the Prime Minister. In the 2025-2026 financial year, government continued this investment with further 4 projects valued at approximately $370,743. This included the Makandru Evacuation Center in Matuku, Levukaindaku Evacuation Center in Matuku, Lawoni Evacuation Center in Onelau, and the Muanera Evacuation Center in Fulang. The Makandru and the Levukaindaku projects were funded by my ministry. The Lawoni project was jointly funded by the Office of the Prime Minister, while the Muanera project was funded through the Ministry of Itaukei Affairs. Mr. Speaker, sir, these investments demonstrate the government's clear commitment to direct public resources to communities in some of Fiji's most remote maritime areas. This development, justice in action, risk and need, not distance from Suva, must guide investment. Remoteness must not mean being forgotten. No maritime community should be left behind. Mr. Speaker, sir, those 14 projects are not stand-alone works. They are practical delivery of the National Development Plan 2025 to 2029 and Vision 2050, founded on empowering the people of Fiji through unity. They advance the NDP pillars of economic resilience, people empowerment, and good governance by protecting lives, safeguarding public assets and livelihoods, improving the resilience of rural and outer island infrastructure, and demonstrating coordinated and accountable use of public resources. They also directly advance Fiji's national disaster risk reduction policy by moving government investment from reactive recovery towards prevention, preparedness, and risk-informed development. Retrofitting and strengthening evacuation facilities reduces exposure, protects development gains, and gives community the capacity to act before hazards become disasters. The investments support the national humanitarian policy by strengthening safe, accessible, and dignified shelter, locally led preparedness, coordinated humanitarian action, and protection of people most at risk, reducing women, children, older persons, and persons with disabilities. In a maritime emergency, preparedness and pre-position community capacity are essential to timely, principled, and effective assistance. They are equally aligned to our draft National Rural Development Policy, which places people and the place at the center of development. The NRDP calls for an integrated, risk-informed, and community-led rural development, stronger provincial and divisional coordination, and equitable access to essential infrastructure and services. In Lau, these evacuation centers are therefore both disaster assets and anchors of resilient local development. Taken together, this framework gives government one clear direction. Development was reduce risk, empower communities, and reach every part of Fiji. Our investment in Laos shows that this government is matching national ambition with action on the ground. Mr. Speaker, sir, our approach is not build and forget, it is to build, prepare, and protect. An evacuation center is not simply a building, it is a critical community infrastructure, a place of safety, and a lifeline when normal systems are disrupted. Mr. Speaker, sir, our investment decisions are guided by risk, capacity, functionality, and equity. We asked, what risk does community face? How many people may need shelter? It is a facility accessible to women, children, older persons, and persons with disability. And when disaster strikes, it will remain safe and operational. This is particularly important for Lau when a cyclone hits the remote island. Help cannot always arrive immediately, so our evacuation centers must be more than buildings. They must be far safe places that communities can rely on when the need is most. Mr. Speaker, sir, our first line of protection is a prepared and empowered community. First line of protection is a prepared and empowered community. Safe infrastructure, early warning, local plans, drills, trained leadership, and clear responsibilities must work together. This is how we protect the lives and reduce pressure on national response system. Mr. Speaker, sir, government's commitment goes beyond building evacuation centers. A building alone does not make the community resilient. A resilient community is one that understands the risk and knows where to go, knows how to get to safety, and what to do when disaster strikes. Mr. Speaker, sir, the coalition government will continue to strengthen community preparedness, resilient infrastructure, disaster risk reduction, and coordinated humanitarian response. We will work across government and with communities and partners to convert policy commitments into visible, measurable protection for our people. Our objective is clear: safe, stronger, and resilient communities, communities that are prepared, protected, and empowered, and communities that share fairly a national development regardless of geography. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me leave Parliament with this message. I quote, "We do not wait for disaster to teach us the value of preparedness. We prepare before disaster strikes," unquote. Because when disaster strikes, preparedness saves lives. That is our commitment to Lau and the maritime Fiji. Development that reaches every island, protects the vulnerable, and leaves no community behind. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.